So I'll show you the pieces and parts and assembly for putting in the wheels on the side. The axle for the tractor is this is a 5/8 inch stainless steel carriage bolt. So it has the square side on the bolt, the threads going all the way up. This drives in when you crank this down. This drives into the wood, and in theory keeps it from spinning. But you crank on it too much, it'll bore out this soft wood. So it's a half inch diameter, 5-inch long stainless steel carriage bolt, so it doesn't rust, and not a huge difference in price on the stainless steel. The hole that I drilled in here is this is a 5/8 inch hole, and it goes through the vertical and the horizontal member, and you just have to cut out the hardware cloth right here on the corner for this to go through. Inside here, and I'm not going to move the camera to show you, but inside here I drove in a metal ferrule, a little tube. I believe it's a 5/8 inch metal tube that with a 1/2 inch hole, so this slides through there. But basically it stiffens this up and keeps this, it would keep this from sort of wearing out this hole prematurely over time. And if you're at Lowe's in the hardware section, that's in those plastic trays that you pull out of the sort of the specialty hardware, you can find these little tubes. So slide this through from the inside, pull that down. And actually I'm using one of these big galvanized 1/2 inch fender washers to help pull down on this to really kind of help stiffen this joint. And then I'm using a 1/2 inch, and this is a stainless steel, and you could get a stainless steel fender washer. I just happen to have these, so but a 1/2 inch lock washer, split ring lock washer, so you can see that where this is cut and split, and when it cranks down with the bolt on here, it'll lock this in place and shouldn't come out. And then just a regular 1/2 inch nut, and spin this on. 3/4 inch wrench, box wrench, and just crank this down. And again, be careful when you're turning this down on the other side, that once it gets tight, hold on to this, because it will twist out and torque out on the other side. So get it snug. It doesn't have to, you just want to pull the square side of the head on this carriage bolt into the wood, and you'll feel it snug up and get to a point where it's pretty tight, and that's about as good as you need to go. And you don't want to keep going until you twist that square head out on the other side. So the wheels that I got from Lowe's, this is an Arnold brand 14-inch plastic wheel. It's for lawnmowers, I suppose, and it has a 1/2 inch arbor or 1/2 inch hub in there. This tire was I think $13 or $14, and it's great. It's plastic, and so it doesn't have an inner tube, can't go flat. Possibly you can, once take it out, leave it up on top of here, or when you move it, just set it off when you take this down. But for $14, can't beat it. And the hole, I put this up about as high as I could. If you were using or had smaller chicks and needed this closer to the ground so that they wouldn't, when you were moving it, they couldn't get out from under here, I suppose you could add a little piece of wood, glue in a block of wood up here, raise that up so that the gap would be smaller. But again, stick a fender washer on here just to help, because this does not have this does not have bearings in it, an actual pivoting axle, and there's no offsets for it. So Just you stick this on, I stick another one on there, and then good old-fashioned 1/2 inch, and this is again stainless steel, so it doesn't rust up. And you know, these things, after, if you're sitting outside for years, these things aren't rusting and locking up on you. And just thread this thing on. You don't need to crank this down, but it will it'll still spin with those washers on there, and that's good enough to move this thing around over thicker grass, rougher terrain, and then easily, once you get it where you need to, back this off, pull it off, set it down, and just put these back on here for storage. Try to put it back on here for storage purposes. Just leave this, twist that on there until the next time you need to move the tractor.